We are 3 days from expiration, and instead of waiting, I'm repositioning this $1 million portfolio. I'm not closing everything and I'm not rolling everything. I'm using the same framework across my positions, but making slightly different decisions depending on size, pricing, and what I already have in place. This portfolio is built around 4 ETFs: QQQ, SPY, GLD, and VIG. And each one plays a slightly different role, including VIG, which also generates dividend income. When I started investing these funds a couple of weeks ago, I had exactly $1 million to start with, and the account value right now is $1,024,746. I have $602,000 in cash, but not all of it is available buying power because I do have some open puts that are committing some of my funds that I have to keep in reserve. So my buying power right now is just over $377,000. Every option position that I have open right now is out of the money. Let's start with GLD. GLD is the one where I am focused on position size, not growth. It's moved up, and I don't want it taking up more than about 10% of the portfolio. So instead of adding more exposure, I'm rolling the put forward rather than just selling a new one. I'm still generating income here, but I'm controlling how big this position gets. I originally spent just over $100,000 buying 249 shares of gold. Since I don't want gold to be taking up more than about 10% of this portfolio, instead of selling a new put, I'm going to roll the existing put out and increase the strike. By increasing the strike price by $15, I can generate about $650 or $660. And it filled at $663. Now I'll roll the $450 call out 1 month and increase the strike price to $465. That would give me an additional $1,500 if the shares are called away. Since these two trades together brought me close to $1,000, I'm going to use that income to pay for a couple of shares to add to the position to hold long. All right, let's get these gold trades on the spreadsheet and then we'll move on to the next 3. And just a quick note before I go on. I'm not going to go deep into every detail of how I'm choosing strikes and expiration dates in this video. I have other videos where I walk through that step by step, looking at potential outcomes, comparing choices, and calculating annualized returns. And I do that in detail with my coaching clients as well. But here, I want to stay at the portfolio level and show how these individual decisions come together. The cash secured put that I just sold is using $61,500 in collateral, and I received $661.68 for the roll for an annualized rate of return of 12.27%. For the covered call roll, I received $319.68 cash in hand today, and I increased the strike price by $15, and then I spent $864.54 to buy 2 shares. Since March 25th, my total out-of-pocket cost is now $98,241.54, and I have 251 shares, giving me an average investment per share of $391.40. Now, QQQ and SPY are going to look very similar, and that's intentional. This is really the core structure I use when I am comfortable growing a position. In both of these, I'm letting my current out-of-the-money puts play out this week. I'm selling a new put for May, selling a covered call while prices are up, and adding a few shares. So I'm building the positions, generating income, and setting up the next cycle, all at the same time. It's the same structure, just 2 different tickers. Now let's take a look at QQQ. I have 170 shares in the account with a trade price of $584.57. They're currently worth $611.93 a share. It would cost me about $35 to close the current open put, but I really wouldn't mind being assigned at $5.80 a share, so I'm just going to leave this one alone and sell a new put with a $600 strike price and then sell a covered call since the price has increased since I bought these shares. Again, I'm going out to May 15th, selling a new put with a strike price of $600. It filled at $9.68. And now I'm going to sell a covered call with a strike price of $635, which filled at $4.86. So I've just brought in $1,500, and I'm going to buy 5 shares. So my April 17th cash secured put is likely to expire this Friday. I just sold a new cash secured put expiring May 15th with a strike price of $600. I generated $967.34 for an annualized rate of return of 18.39%. I sold a covered call with a strike price of $635, also expiring May 15th, and brought in $485. And then I spent $3,060.10 to buy 5 shares. So right now with QQQ, I am out of pocket $99,682.98, and I have 175 shares for an average investment per share of $5.69. The shares I bought on SPY are up almost 4%, and the $650 cash secured put is very likely to expire out of the money on Friday. So I'm going to do pretty much the same thing I just did with QQQ. I'm going to sell a new put with a higher strike price, add a covered call, and buy a few shares. I'll sell a cash secured put with a strike price of $670. It filled at $9.19 a share. Now I'll sell a covered call with a strike price of $705, also expiring on May 15th. It filled at $269 a share. And now that I've brought in almost $1,200, I'm going to go ahead and buy 5 more shares of SPY. The $914 premium on $67,000 of capital gives me an annualized rate of return of 15.57. The $268 premium on the covered call adds a 4.5% booster to the potential capital gains, and I use the income from these 2 contracts to offset the cost of adding 5 shares. When I add it all up, my out-of-pocket is now $105,540, and I have 165 shares. So a little quick division shows me my average investment per share right now is $639.64. VIG is where I shift the emphasis a little. This position is doing something the others aren't. It's generating dividend income in addition to options income, so it's already contributing cash to the portfolio in multiple ways. I already have several puts here, so instead of adding more downside exposure, I'm leaning into covered calls and still adding shares. So between the dividends and the options income, the position is producing cash, and I am using that cash to keep building it over time. This is what it looks like when a position starts helping fund its own growth. And the last position we're going to look at is the VIG. You may remember if you watched the video from the other day, I already sold 2 more cash secured puts expiring on May 15th, one with a strike price of $200 and the other with $205. I expect the $215 put that I sold when I originally set up this account will expire in about 4 days. So I'm just going to leave it alone and squeeze out that last $27.50. When I first set this up, I paid $215.57 for the 461 shares that I opened with. So since I'm already pretty heavy on the puts here, I'm just going to sell a covered call with a strike price of maybe $230 or $235. Let's take a look and see when the dividend is. We just passed an ex-dividend date, so the next one will probably be at the end of June. And I see option expiration dates May 15th and August 21st. So I'm going to go out to May, and then I would probably roll it out to June or July as we approach expiration. I'm going to sell one covered call with a strike price of $225. And if I can get $45 or $50, I'll also sell one with a strike price of $230. The $225 strike sold for $210 per share, and the $230 strike sold for 65 cents a share. Now I'm going to use the income from these two contracts I just sold to offset the cost of adding 10 shares to the account. And that filled at $221.27. Since I sell my covered calls out of the money and always above my cost basis, I don't expect to make a lot of money on them or to make really high returns. This 10.79% on the 100 shares is just a booster on top of the potential capital gains. And likewise, this 3.32% is just a little bonus or booster on top of the gains that I would get if these shares were called away. But everything adds up, everything compounds. So at this point, I am out of pocket just over $100,000. And instead of 463 shares, I now have 473 shares. And even with the addition of these 10 shares at a higher price than I originally paid, I have brought my adjusted cost per share down to $212.26. My cash balance is down a few $1,000s from where it was when we started, and my buying power is definitely lower than it was because of these new cash secured puts. But I expect at the end of the week, when this QQQ put, this SPY put, and one of the VIG puts all expire, my buying power will go up again, and I will make some more option trades and buy some more shares. So across the portfolio, I'm using the same overall framework, but applying it differently in each position. And that's what managing a portfolio looks like. It's not reacting to the market, it is positioning and responding to it.